Zoom before. It's my first time using it. We always use other things in my other classes and Canvas. So I'm getting there, guys. Please be patient with me and I'll do the same. I'll give you the same courtesy as the semester progresses. But yeah, I'm not going to go over these policies. Make sure you take the time to read these over. You want to understand what you're committing to when you register for a class. I am recording now, so just keep that in mind. Other than that, are there any questions regarding the syllabus or what we've discussed so far?
Mm.
All right. Yes, Monica.
That book that you sorry, that book that you recommended, is that something that we're supposed to be purchasing, or
Great question,
is
Monica.
it available to us?
So for those of you that got the code for my math lab already, is the book included with the code or do you have to purchase the book separately for the code as well? Can anyone share that with the with
I was gonna ask, what is the access code? Because I didn't get one in my email. I tried clicking on it and it didn't give me one.
I
But I have
think
it on my shelf. I don't know.
so what it is probably is because since I haven't activated my math lab for your section yet, I don't think you can click on the link on Canvas to open up my math lab yet. I don't think it's
Yeah.
gonna be right. Cause can y'all tell me like yeah, I'm gonna find out just because I don't think you need to buy anything. I think being registered in the class gives you access to this. Maybe I may be wrong,
They
but
said it's free. Yeah.
say that again.
It's free.
Oh,
It pays.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So then, yeah, I guess so. Once I activate the course on my math lab for your section, you should be able to access the book and everything, Jennifer. So yeah, so just by Wednesday is the latest. Today will be the earliest.
Okay.
Great question, by the way. Any other questions, guys? All right, let's go ahead and move over to the lecture notes, guys. So everyone get some your notebook paper out or your journal out for the lecture. We're gonna begin some notes. If you don't have a notebook or journal, get sheets of paper out. We're gonna get into it. This is my information for you guys in case you didn't get it from the syllabus. But we're gonna go ahead and get started with some math. Now, this is an interactive class, guys, so I am gonna ask questions for you guys to either unmute and answer or type in the chat. The more you participate, the more that this thing, the topics or concept will stick with you. That's my last word of advice before we begin. Is the more you participate, the more you'll get more practice of this. All right. So the first section we'll be covering today is 1.7, exponents and order of operations. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys about 2 minutes to set up this slide into your notebook. Okay, guys, 2 minutes and then I'll begin discussing it. All right. That was my 2-minute timer, guys. I'm gonna just talk about it, and I'm gonna write very minimally, but go ahead and finish writing out the thoughts, the notes. So exponents. So an exponent, so DEF, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I'm here to prepare you for college level. So DEF just stands for definition. And in mathematics, you're going to be exposed to definitions, you're going to be exposed to notes, you're going to be exposed to theorems, formulas, and I organize them in the way that you'll be seeing them in other math classes. All professors and mathematicians, we all use DEF, we all use note, we all use recall, theorem, and I'll be exposing them to you as the class progresses. So if there's any questions about anything that I write or say, please let me know. So exponent is a shorthand notation to write repeated multiplication. So 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is the same thing as 3 to the 5th power. So the 5 right here is actually known as the exponent that we just defined. And whereas the 3 is called the base. So the bigger value that we see with the exponent notation is called the base. The smaller digit that's on the top right-hand corner of the number is always the exponent. It is very important that you guys use the terminology that I am exposing you in this lecture. Now look at the table underneath the 3 to the 5th expression. So in this expression, we have 5 squared here. So when you see 5 or 2, so you notice that the 5, the big digit, the 5 is always the first thing you pronounce. You always pronounce the base first. And the exponent, guys, is always going to be whatever it is. And the way I describe these numbers, guys, is like school. You know, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, because someone in my other class was like, oh, that's 5 to the 2 power. 5 to the 2 power is not wrong. It's just incorrect. It's kind of like slang. And we don't want slang. Not anymore. We're not in high school. We're adults now. So we're going to say 5 to the 2nd power. Well, the power of 2 is a special power that another way we can describe it is 5 squared. So any other number that we write with the power of 2, you could say 5 squared, 7 squared. 5 to the 2nd power, 3 to the 2nd power, or 9 squared. You know, you have 2 options when the exponent is 2. The second expression, 5 to the 3rd power, or whenever the power is 3, we can also say 5 cubed. Cubed is another way to say the power of 3. Now, when we get to bigger than 3, now it's this 4th. So it's 5 to the 4th power and so on. So tell me, guys, how would you say this one? 5 to this power. How would you pronounce this pink?
Power.
Say it one more time.
5 to the 6th power.
5 to the 6th power. That is correct. And make sure that it has the 6 has the TH at the end. 6th power. It is very important that you're not afraid of reading these exponents out loud. Now, if you don't want to unmute yourself, you want to just say it out loud in your room, in your living room, in your class, wherever you're at, just say it. 5 to the 6th power. You want to expose your mind with that skill. And then we look at this note. Note, an exponent. So note, an exponent of 1 is never written. So any number or variable that's by itself is always going to have an exponent of 1. Like for example, 7 by itself is 7 to the 1st power. So you can say that. You can say 7 to the 1st power. But you never have to say 1st power. We never read numbers like this, okay? We never read numbers like that. Because 1 is kind of always invisible, typically, right? So far, do we have any questions on this first slide? Let's see how everyone picked it up, guys. How would you say this exponent here in pink? How would you say this?
8
8 to the 7th power.
8
to the 7th power.
8 to the 7th power. That is correct. Excellent, y'all. Any questions so far?
No.
All right. Now, yeah, was there a question? I'm sorry. All right. Ready? Here's your first example. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a minute to just write the first part, or 2 minutes to write examples, write using exponential notation, write number 1, 2, 3, 4 down. Okay, and I'm gonna give you 2 minutes to write that over. So there's gonna be moments where it's gonna be expanded. Your job is to look at the expanded form. Say, okay, how can we write this as the exponential notation? What's gonna be the base and what's gonna be the exponent, the power? So I'll give you a moment to write it out before we start. Now, I'm not sure how the other professors teach this class, but I like to be interactive. Since I have you guys longer class times and shorter length of the semester, I'm going to try to make you practice within my lessons. That way you can say, oh, okay, that makes sense. Oh, I didn't get that, Mr. Pacheco. No, sir. Can you explain how we do that? You know what I mean? I'm here to make sure you gain some confidence in yourself about mathematics. Once the timer beeps, I'll go ahead and get started with number 1. Yes, Monica. Can I hear you, Monica?
Did you want us to write the answer?
If you want to get started and yes, do it. Now, if you have pencil, now if you're using pen, Monica, I would wait a moment. That way I would hate for you to scratch out your work if it wasn't correct. But if you have a lapis, a pencil, I'm okay, go for it. Thank you. So, I used to be a high school teacher, so I would always force my students to do pencils in high school. But at the college level, I'll let you do what you want. You're an adult. You live your best life. All right, that was my timer. Look at number 1. We have 7 times 7 times 7. So what's going to be the base for number 1? What's the bigger number going to be?
7.
7. That is correct. Now, how many 7s do we see?
3.
So the power is 3. So how will we read that, class?
7 to the 3rd
7
power.
to the 3rd power.
And what's another way we can say it?
21 to the 3rd power.
7 to the 3rd power. 7 to the 3rd power is correct. 7
cubed.
7
Yes.
cubed.
7
Yes.
cubed.
Excellent. Like nerd status. Houston, we have some nerds here. All right. Number 2. 3 times 3. What's my base gonna be? What's the bigger number gonna be? The base.
3.
3.
3.
Now, what's my exponent gonna be? My power.
1.
I heard 1.
Oh, it's 2.
2.
It's 2.
I got myself.
Does anyone agree or disagree with 2?
It's 2.
It's 2.
2.
So how do we read that exponent, guys? How do we read that?
3 squared or
3 squared.
3 squared is one way. What's the other way?
3 to the 2nd power.
The 2nd power.
3 to the 2nd power. I'm loving the participation, y'all. Excellent, excellent, guys. All right, now let's look at the number 3. What's my base gonna be for number 3? 6. What's gonna be my
6.
exponent?
5.
5.
And how
Five.
will we pronounce it, y'all?
6 to the 5th
6
power.
to the 5th power.
6 to the 5th power. Excellent, excellent. Ooh, number 4, guys. The plot thickens. It's now complicated because now we don't have just one base. We have how many now?
2.
2.
What's my first base gonna be?
9.
9.
My first base is 9. Are you sure?
3.
Oh,
3.
yeah.
So the first base is gonna be 3.
Okay.
How many threes do we have?
4.
4.
So there'll be 3 to the
Fourth
Fourth
power.
power.
fourth power. Now, what operation is that dot mean?
Multiplication.
Multiplication. So you have to write the dot in. You have to include it.
Mm.
And now, what's my next base, ladies and gentlemen?
9.
9.
9 to the what?
Third power.
Or 9.
Third power.
Cube.
Cube.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys 2 minutes to do these practice problems on your own. Are you guys ready? I'm throwing you to the sharks, so you better swim. Ready, set, go. 2 minutes to work on these 4 practice problems, y'all. Make sure you write practice 1 through 4 and then write the problems out. Now, I know I didn't do it up here, but do me a favor if y'all can start boxing your final answer like the way I'm doing right here. That way, your professor and you know, okay, this was my final product from the work that I produced. It's a good habit you want to start doing now. Always box every final answer. All right, I have 15 seconds before we go over the first practice problem sets. Now, these practice problems, I recommend putting them in your notebook for notes because this is where you're learning the material. Where the other journal will be where you're applying the material on your own without my support. All right, nerds. Number 1. What's my base, ladies and gentlemen?
8.
8.
Excellent.
8.
What will be my exponent, ladies and gentlemen?
4.
4
4.
to 4 to the fourth power.
8 to the 4th power. Let's get it. All right, box your answer. Number 2. What's my base?
3.
What is my
3.
exponent?
3.
3.
How do we pronounce it?
The third,
3 to the third power.
3 to the 3rd power or 3
cube.
or
Cube.
3 cubed. Yes.
3 cube.
You know what, guys? This is awesome. My first class is at 8 a.m. No one was really talking. I'm guessing they're not morning people. So like, this is such a different feel for me right now, and I'm kind of vibing. So, all right, number 3. What's my base, ladies and gentlemen?
10.
10.
10. Excellent. What's my exponent going to be?
5.
5.
And how do we
Five.
pronounce this?
10.
10 to
To
the
the
5th
fifth
power.
power.
10 to the
And-
5th power.
That is correct. Ooh, the plot thickens for number 4. Let's see if you guys caught on. Okay, how many bases do you see in number 4?
2.
So what will be the first base?
5.
5 what? What's my
Five.
power?
5 to the second power.
5 to the
Four.
2nd power. Excellent.
Times.
Don't forget to draw your dot for multiplication. Do not forget. And then what will be the second base in exponent?
4.
4.
4 to the what?
6.
6 power.
I heard 5. I
Six.
heard 6.
6.
6. And we are done, ladies and gentlemen.
That
Are
was
there?
fun.
Yeah, I know it
It was
was.
like high school memory for me. I
Yeah, it
love
was
it.
exciting. It was fun.
What questions is it? I know this is why I love math. It's like so exciting to do. What questions do we have so far? Are we okay?
How do you know when it's supposed to be cubed?
When do you know when it's supposed to be cubed?
What
What exponent is cubed?
3.
3.
So whenever you
Three.
see whenever you see that value being multiplied 3 times, so like 3 times 3 times 3, 3 cubed. X times X times X, X cubed. 2 times 2 times 2, 2 cubed. That so whenever there's it happens 3 times. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Excellent. That's a great question, by the way. Let me share my chat. Excellent, excellent. I'm seeing your contribution, Vicky. I appreciate your chat. All right, let's look at the next set of examples. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys about a minute to set up example that says evaluate, and then we have 5 through 8.
What does it mean by evaluate?
We'll get to that and after the minute. We'll let everyone set up first, and then we'll get started. I was supposed to block these off. No cheating.
I was like, what happened? Okay, so 9, 2.
9, not 9-2, Rosemary. 9
Ah,
1.
there you go. You see, now I'm talking slang.
I caught you.
Yeah, you did. Okay.
We're doing 5 through 8, right?
Yeah, you're setting up the examples in your notebook right now, 5 through 8. You're writing down examples, evaluate, number 5, 9 squared, 6, 6 to the first power, 7, 3 to the fourth power, number 8 is 5 times 6 squared. You're setting those up in your notebook, and then we're gonna, after the timer runs out, we'll get started on them.
Okay.
Thank you.
No, thank you for asking. So as you guys are setting up this the next 4 examples, I want to answer the question that was asked. What does it mean to evaluate something? Well, evaluate means that an expression, something that you see, means something else. Like for example, when you evaluate 2 plus 2, what's 2 plus 2? 4. So another way to describe 2
4.
plus 2 is 4. So now for these examples, 9 squared, it means something else. It has another value to it. So our job is to find that value. So number 5 is, so to find the value, to evaluate, you need to know what exponents is. We know exponent is repeated multiplication. So look at number 5. Number 5 is 9 squared. Well, we know 9 squared is what times what? What's my,
9 times 9.
it's 9 times 9. Well, it's just multiplication. What's 9 times 9?
81.
81. And we are done. Number 6. Number 6, the exponent is 6 to the 1 power. So how many 6s are we going to see?
1.
Can we do anything to this?
No.
So we are done.
Then, okay.
Any questions for 5 or 6 so far?
Mm-mm.
All right, let's look at number 7, y'all. 7, how do we read that?
3 to the fourth power.
So which is when we expand it, Melanie, what are we gonna multiply by how many times?
Since it's a 3 by 4 is going to equal 12.
Ah, you sure? So first write it out, Melanie. Everyone write it out. So it's gonna be 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, 4 times, right? Because of the exponent. Is everyone with me so far?
Yeah.
Now I heard someone said 3 times 4 is 12, but is it really 3 times 4? No, right? It's 3 times 3 times 3, 4 times. So let's do it from left to right. What's 3 times 3?
9.
9. And then we do 9 times another 3, which is
27.
27. And then we do another times 3. 27 times
27
3,
times 3.
which is
81.
81. Now listen, guys, we are in college math, but this does not mean you are a calculator. If you have to plug in 3 times 3, in your calculator, do it. You do not have to know that in your head, okay? The point of this class is that I teach you how to do things, not to be a calculator. That's the
Okay.
one thing that I hate because I'm a math teacher or math professor. When I go out to eat with my family or friends or I go shopping, they're always like, how much is this gonna be? I don't fucking know. Like, what did you buy? Like, I'm not I was like, I'm not a calculator. Oh, well, you're a math person. I'm like, I'm not a calculator. I was like, I could tell you an equation, but I cannot tell you the bill. Like, you should have added it up yourself, you know? So I don't expect that from you either. So does everyone understand number 7, why it's 81 and not 12?
Yes.
Yes.
You do 3 times 3 and then you get 9 and then you times it by 3 and then times your total by 3 again.
Yep, because there's 4 threes in total. That's correct. Now, like if you want me to show you how I would do it, so 3 times 3, that gives me 9. So I'll bring down everything else. So I know these two is 9. Do 9 times 3 again, which is 27 times 3, which is 81. So there's a lot of ways to break down the math. You just choose what sits in, what makes sense to you. All right, number 8. Number 8 is 5 times 6 squared. Well, let's expand this. How many 5s are we going to write out?
1,
How many 6s am I going to write?
2,
2.
So now let's multiply.
so 6 times 6 is 36 and then
Excellent. 5, so it's be
5.
5 times 36. So now we do 5 times 36.
180.
180.
What did you get?
180.
180.
180. And
180.
we are done. Are you guys ready to try these out on your own? I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys 2 minutes to do the practice problems right here. 2 minutes starting now. Good luck. As you guys are working on this, I'm gonna go ahead and do roll call real quick just so I can get everyone's attendance in. Give me 1 second. So you may have more than 2 minutes. Attendance. All right, when I say your name, please say present or here or type in the chat. Whatever makes sense. Isabella Alanis. Isabella Alanis. Nope. Alina Andrade. Alina Andrade. Christopher Beltran.
Here.
Jessenia Cambero. Jessenia or Jessenia. Jennifer Cavazos.
Here.
Lydia Coffee. Lydia Coffee. Monica de la Rosa.
Here.
Sean Digby.
Here.
Gabriela Estrella. Gabriela. Mark Fieros.
Here.
Damian Garcia. No Damian. Isaac Garcia. No Isaac. Isaac Garcia. Savannah.
Here.
Melanie Hardman. Elisa Lewis.
Here.
Matthew Martinez.
Here.
Mario Mendez.
Here.
Vicky Medlos. Vicky?
She said here, she chatted, she
Okay.
put it in the chat.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Alexandra Montelongo.
Here, I could just go by Alex.
All right, appreciate you, Alex. Catherine,
Here.
Jose,
Here.
Rosemary,
Here.
Johnny, Joshua, Wilson,
Here.
and Ariel. Ariel? Okay, Joshua Wilson's here. And then no Johnny, no Ariel, no Isaac, Damien, Lydia, Jasenia, Alina, and Isabella. Okay. All right. All right. Thank you guys for your patience. Let's get back into the good stuff. All right. Number 5. Do anyone want to share what they got for 4 squared?
8.
I got 8.
I got
16.
And did someone agree or disagree with Melanie?
disagree.
I agree.
So we have
16.
we
I
have
have
8
16.
or 16. Ooh,
Wait, for the final answer?
let's find out. Let's see what it is.
16.
So number 5. So first we want to expand it, right? What's another way to write 4 squared, y'all?
4 times 4.
4 times
4
4.
times 4.
4 times 4. So 4 squared is the same thing as 4 times 4. And 4 times 4 is just what?
16.
16.
16.
Sorry, I was
16.
thinking 4 times 2.
Yay. So you caught your mistake. So remember that 4 squared is 4 squared is not 4 times 2. 4 squared is not 4 times 2. It is 4 times 4. Does everyone understand that? That the exponent is how much is being repeated, the base.
Yes.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir.
Excellent, excellent. Let's look at number 6. Anyone want to share what they got? What did they get?
7 times 7 times 7, and I got 343.
Excellent. Does anyone agree or disagree with that?
I agree.
I agree.
I hear
I
agree
agree.
and disagree. Whoever disagree, what do you think it is? Remember, the base is 7. The exponent is 3. So are we going to do 7 times 3 or are we going to do 7 times 7 times 7?
7 times 7 times 7.
7 times 7.
Yep, 7 times 7 times 7, which is 343. Everyone with me so far?
Mhm.
Number 7, we pronounce that as 11 to the first power. So which evaluates to what, guys? What's 11 to the first power?
11.
11. Does anyone agree or disagree with 11?
Agree.
I agree.
I agree.
Excellent. Everyone understands why it's 11.
Yes.
Make sure you're boxing your final answers,
Yes,
y'all.
sir.
Now we're on the last one. 2 times 3 squared. So how would
18.
that? I heard 18. How do we get that? What does that expand to?
3 times 3.
2 times 3
2
times 3.
times 3 times
what-
3.
And what's
3.
3 times 3?
9.
9.
9.
And then 2 times 9?
18.
18.
And we're
18.
done.
Is it okay if I did like 2 times 3 equals 6, then 6 times 3 equals 18?
That's completely fine, Melanie. That's completely fine.
Okay.
Thank you for asking. Great question. All right. What questions do we have for these examples? Does everyone feel better after the practice problems and the discussions we had? Everyone feel better?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Make
Yes,
sure
sir.
you're honest, because if you're still lost at something, let me know so I can further explain, because I would hate for you to start the assignment when we're done with the lecture and you're like, crap, I don't know how to start, you know? All right. So let's move on. Now we're going to take the shift now from exponents to now order of operation. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys about 3 minutes to set up this slide into your notebook. Make sure you write down the order of operation and write the 4 steps down. And then set up the example as well in your notebook. After 3 minutes, I'll begin talking. Good luck. I was muted. That's embarrassing. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. So you were writing the steps down of order of operations. So now when you do order of operations, guys, these are the steps you're going to want to follow. So parentheses, simplify the inside of any grouping symbols. Now, the main one that you've been exposed to has been parentheses, but there's more than, oh, damn, sorry. There's more than just parentheses. There's parentheses, there's brackets, and there's curly brackets. So write all these symbols down next to step 1. That way you know, okay, for step 1, anything that has those symbols, we have to simplify the inside of it. Step 2 is the topic we just went over, is exponents. If you see any exponents, you evaluate those exponents, like the way we just did in example 538. Step 3, we multiply and divide from left to right. So it's very important that you read step 3, the and. Oh, let me change the color. And then you go from left to right. So add and subtract from left to right. So keep those operations in mind. That's why when Melanie asked, is it okay if she did if she said she did 2 times 3, 6 times 3 is 18, that's perfect because that's what we do for Pemdas or order of operations. Now let's look at examples A. We want to simplify the expression. So simplify and evaluate is gonna be are kind of similar, and you're gonna see why. So the first thing I do is I write Pemdas PEMDAS. This is how I write a checklist next to my example so I can do the steps. So step 1, parentheses. Are there any parentheses in example A? Do you see any parentheses here? We see it says 2 times 4 minus 3 divided by 3. No parentheses. So we're done with parentheses. Do we see any exponents, ladies and gentlemen? Do we see
No.
exponents? No. So we're done with exponents.
No.
Now we're step 3. We're going to multiply, divide, and whatever comes first from left to right. So what's the first thing we see here? 2 what?
2 times 4.
2 times 4.
Which is?
8.
So I'm going to underline that and I'm going to write 8 underneath that. Bring down everything else. Minus 3 divided by 3. Now, since we're barely exposing ourselves to this concept, we're going to do every baby step. As you get confident and comfortable, you can lower the steps that you take. But I'm a nerd, so I love to write out my steps because it looks nice and organized. So now we're still dividing, right? We can still multiply and divide. So now, am I going to do 8 minus 3 first or do 3 divided by 3 first?
3 divided by 3.
3 divided by
3
3.
divided by 3. What's 3 divided by 3?
1.
1.
So then we get 8 minus 1. Now we're done with step 3. Everyone with me?
Yeah.
No, notice how there's no more multiplication and division.
Mhm.
Now the final step, we add and subtract from left to right, which is what? 8
Seven.
minus 1, which
Equals
is 7.
7.
And then box your answer and we're done with step 4. And you just did PEMDAS on your own with an expression. Now, the expressions aren't always this simple though, right? It gets a little more complicated. Let's keep going. Let's look at B. Now I'm gonna go ahead and switch my color. I'm gonna go to red. Parentheses. Do you see any parentheses in B?
No.
No.
So we're done with P. E. Do we see any exponents?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. How do we read that exponent, ladies and gentlemen?
4 times 4.
5. I mean 4. Sorry, I said 5.
4 square.
4 squared.
4 squared, which is 4 times what?
4 times
4.
4 times
4
4.
times 4.
Good. Not 4 times 2, but 4 times 4, which is what?
16.
16.
16.
16. So bring down everything else, y'all. So do you see any more exponents, ladies and gentlemen?
No.
No.
So we're done with step
No.
2. Now it's step 3. Multiply and divide from left to right. So what do we do first, ladies and gentlemen?
Multiply first.
Multiply. Oh, no,
Ah,
divide.
Multiply.
Because remember, I want you to understand that as it doesn't say multiply then divide. If it said multiply
From.
then divide, then we do 2 times 4 and then we divide. But it doesn't say multiply then divide. It says multiply and divide. So whichever one comes first. What comes first?
Okay. So divide.
Divide. So let's
Divide.
go. So let's go ahead and underline that. Divide. What's 16 divided by 2?
8.
So 8, and then bring down the times 4. And we finish this off. What's 8 times 4?
32.
And we
32.
are done. See, the reason why I'm taking my time with this examples is because in middle school, a lot of middle school teachers don't explain that correctly. They tell, and they're not really comfortable with it. And they do. I've had a lot of people tell me, "Oh, we multiply first and then we divide." I'm like, no, we don't. It's one, whichever one comes first, but it's both of them.
Yeah, it was a lot hard doing PEMDAS because I really did not, but like I feel like I understand it more now since I'm in college. It makes a lot more sense.
Excellent, Melanie. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, I agree. All right. What questions do we have so far from these examples?
I don't have a question, but just to say something. I took 5 months of tutoring on this and I didn't get it till right now.
Oh,
Wow.
that's
So
awesome.
that's
Oh,
good.
PEMDAS is so much
Yeah.
easier now. It's fun.
Yes, guys. Oh, we haven't even gotten to the best part, guys. There,
You're a
Thank you.
math lover.
look at C and D. Look how juicy these look.
Wow.
I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys I'm gonna give y'all a minute to, or 2 minutes to set up the problems,
Okay.
and then we'll get started. Remember, you're gonna have your own practice set, so you can, if you want, you can try on your own to get started. But if you have a pen, be careful and wait. If you have a pencil, get started because you can always erase your mistakes. And I've always done this checklisting. This checklist that I always do in the exam, I did that. I did that on my own as a student. I was like, I'm gonna do the checklist because I want to make sure I get this right. Because yeah, math has been my passion since day one. And it's the only subject that makes sense to me growing up. All right. So after the timer runs out, we'll get started. All right. Now you're still setting up. My apologies, but I'm going to go ahead and get started with C, okay? All right. Look at the expressions. We have parentheses, 8 minus 6 parentheses squared plus 2 cubed times 3. What's the first step, y'all, in order of operations?
Parentheses.
Do you see any
Parentheses.
do you all see any parentheses we can simplify?
Yes.
Yes.
What's inside the
Yes.
parentheses?
8 minus 6.
What's 8 minus 6,
8
y'all?
minus 6.
8 minus 6 is 2.
2.
2. So bring down the 2 and bring the square with the 2 and bring everything else down. Notice how we didn't do anything else other than just the
2.
parentheses.
2 plus 2.
All right, so P is now done. Does everyone agree with that?
Yes.
Yes.
So now what's E stand for,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen? What does the E stand
Exponent.
for? Exponent. Do we have any exponents?
Yes.
Yes. What's
Yes.
the first exponent evaluate to? What's 2 squared?
That equals 4.
4.
4, because it's 2 times 2,
2.
which is 4. Then we have plus, and is that the only exponent we see?
No.
2.
2 what? How do we say that one? 2 what?
Cube.
2
Two
cubed, which is 2 times 2 times 2, which is what, y'all?
6.
16.
I heard 16 and 6.
Wait, isn't it 2
2
times
times 2.
4 times 2? That would be, I mean, 4 times 3, that'd be 16.
8, right?
let's check it out. So let's write it out.
Oh, shit.
So remember, 2 cube is 2 times 2 times 2, correct?
Yes,
2 times 2 is what?
4,
4. Bring down the other times 2, which is
Eight.
¿qué?
8.
8. Do y'all see that?
Okay.
And if you have to do work on the side to help you do the problem, you can do that. That's why you have paper and pencil. You can mess with things, okay? So then instead of 2 cube, I'm gonna write 8 instead. Is everyone with me?
Yeah.
So are we done with exponents?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Now what's my third step, y'all?
Multiply division.
Do we see any multiplication or division in this line?
Multiplication.
Yeah, what do we multiply, ladies and gentlemen?
Multiplication.
8 times 3.
8 times 3.
There
Eight
you
times
go.
3.
8 times 3, which is what?
24.
24. So then you get 4 plus 24.
28. I mean, sorry.
No, you're good. 4 plus, and that's that. We're done with multiply and division. I'm gonna go ahead and highlight each step that we did in each line so you know. And then the last step is 4 plus 24, which is just, somebody said it, 28. And we're done. Any questions on C? All right. Does anyone need a second to write down D real quick, or is everyone good to start? Okay. Have anyone? Oh, give you a second. Okay, I got you. Let me know when you're good. Now, can someone tell me what makes D a little bit more challenging than the rest we've done?
D has more grouping
Eh,
than
yes, it has more group symbols. Yeah, I'm challenging you. I hate you. I'm just kidding. I don't hate you. I take that back. I forgot that I'm recording myself, and now like if my boss sees this, did you tell your students you hate them? Nah. I'll just deny it. Okay, guys, which parentheses or which symbol do you think would do first? Bracket or parentheses? What do you think?
bracket.
Parentheses.
Brackets.
Parentheses. Because mira, we can't do brackets until, because to do the bracket, we have to have the whole thing simplified. But we don't know what this number is yet to subtract it from 3 squared. Y'all with me? Like we can't do the bracket until this is a number. So let's go ahead and do this parentheses primero. What is 10 divided by 2, y'all?
5.
5.
So then we get 3
5.
squared minus 5. Don't forget your brackets and bring down everything else. And are y'all seeing how every step it gets smaller and smaller, right? Y'all see that? So now we're not done with step 1, because Melanie said there's another grouping, so we still have to worry about the brackets.
Brackets.
So in the brackets, what's gonna be simplified? What happens to 3 squared?
Becomes 3 times 3, which is
3
9.
times 3, which is 9 minus 5. So bring down everything else. We did the square inside the bracket. Do you see that? We're taking our time because we don't want to make any mistakes. Now, we're not done yet. To finish simplifying the bracket, we have to do what inside the bracket?
Subtract it.
Subtract it.
What's 9 minus 5?
4.
4. So then we get 4 cubed plus 4 minus 7 times 3. Can someone tell me why I dropped the brackets? Why there's no more brackets around the 4?
Because we already simplified it.
Because we simplified it. We simplified it. Yes. All right. Are we done with step 1?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Do we see any exponents, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes.
4 cubed.
Yeah, 4 cubed, which is
Yes.
4
32.
times 4 times 4.
32.
Was it, I heard 32? Is it, you sure it's 32?
4.
So let me write it out. 4 cubed. It's 4
4.
times 4 times 4.
Times 4.
So 4 times 4 is
16.
16.
times another 4,
64.
64. And it's okay to do scratch work, guys. This is called scratch work, which helps us simplify the problem. So it is 64. So then we get 64 plus 4 minus 7 times 3.
Then it's multiplication.
And division. Do you see any multiplication division in this line?
Yes.
Location.
Yeah, 7 times 3 is what?
21.
21.
So then we get 64 plus 4 minus 21. Everyone with me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So now we're done with step 3 because there's no more multiplication or division. So what's the last step?
64 plus 4.
Which is what?
68.
Minus 21. And to finish this off, we subtract, which is,
47.
and we are done, ladies and gentlemen. Is everyone getting a better flow of how the order of operations works?
Yes.
Yes, awesome, awesome. Now, what questions do we have on these examples? All right, we have 2 more examples before we start your practice set, E and F. So let me go ahead and give you 2 minutes to set that up, okay? 2 minutes to set that up. So as you guys are setting up letter E, we have a fraction bar. So when you're doing the fraction bar, let's write a little note. So note, let me change my color real quick. Go there. No. Simplify the top and bottom separately. So every time we have a fraction bar, we're gonna do the top by itself and then the bottom by itself. And then whatever those are, we put them on top of each other. So let's look at it. So let's do the top. So write the word top. Oh, my bad. You're still sitting up. Let me give you 30 seconds. I'll wait for that to finish. All right, that was the timer. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the top. So I'm gonna rewrite the top over here. So we have 7 minus 2 times 3 plus 3 squared. All right, y'all run me through this. So what do we do first for order operations for the top? What's the first step? Exponent, right? Because there's no P, so we can check off P. What's the exponent that we see?
3
3
times.
times
3 times 3, with 3 squared, which is what?
6.
9.
9.
3 times 3, you sure? 3, 6, 9. So we get 9. Bring down everything else, y'all. Exponents are done. What's next for the top that we have to do?
Multiplication.
Where do we multiply?
2 times 3, which is 6.
Which is 6. So it'd be 7 minus 6 plus 9. And then what's the next step?
Addition.
And
Subtraction.
from left to,
Right.
7 minus
what's 7 minus 6?
1.
1.
What's 1 plus 9?
10.
I kind of got out of Zoom. I don't know how to go back.
I'll
I think
just,
just
I'm not a technology person. I'm sorry. Um.
There
Yeah.
it is.
Okay. Okay. Cool. 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 Glad you figured it out. Now we're gonna do the bottom. All right. The bottom is 5 parentheses 2 minus 1. So what do we do first for the bottom?
Parentheses.
Which is what? 2 minus 1,
Minus one.
which gives you what? 1.
One.
And then what happens when we have a number next to a number with parentheses? What operation is that?
I would say
Multiply.
That's multiplication. 5 times 1 is
5.
5. So now that we have the top and bottom, we're going to make a fraction out of that. We're going to do 10 over 5. A fraction is another way to divide. What's 10 divided by 5?
2.
2. And we are done. So whenever you do your practice problem with the fraction, remember you do the top and the bottom, and then you just divide the 2. All right, you guys are doing great. Let's go ahead and move on over here to
Wait,
F.
Somebody's laptop was messing up. They missed 3 minutes of the class.
Okay.
It was me, but I could go back to look at it. Sorry.
No worries. I could go over E again. Let me just let people work on F, okay? All right, so we're on F, guys. I want you to try this one on your own independently. $64 divided by 8 times 2 plus 4. So if you guys are doing F on your own without me, what step would you go first?
Multiplication.
Right? Because there's already there's no parentheses and no exponents. So multiplication. And where? Remember, it's M and D. So you
And
share
then-
so will we multiply first or divide first?
I'll divide.
Divide, that's right.
We have to go in order of whichever one comes first from left to right. So it's gonna be division. So M and D, it could be either one, okay? Because remember, the emphasis is multiply and divide, not multiply, then divide. That's when we do all multiply first. But no, it's whichever one comes first, the multiplier division, okay? 64 divided by 8, y'all. What do we get?
8.
8.
Excellent. Bring down everything else.
So then
So now what's next? We're
8
still
times 2, which
8.
is 16.
16. Bring down the what?
The 2.
Well, we got rid of the 2 when we
Sorry,
get
I wrote the
16.
problem wrong.
4.
4. And we finish it off and we get what?
21.
21.
16 plus 4?
20.
20.
20. And we're done. All right. What questions do we have on these examples?
I would say is for E is distribute for like the last one, like when I said distribute, is that the same thing as multiplication too?
Distribute, yes, distribute is yes, distribute is a way to multiply as well.
Okay, because I said it earlier, I was like distribute.
Ah, I see. Oh, because you're talking about the 5, right? And the 2 and the 1. Yeah. Yes. Now, if it would like say Melanie said X minus 1, then we perfectly distribute, right? But since it's not X, it's a 2, we just simplify the parentheses. But yes, distribute, multiply are very similar. Yes. All right. What questions are y'all ready to get started on the practice problems? You ready?
Yes.
All right, let's do this, y'all. Here are your 6 practice problems. I'm gonna number them 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys 10 minutes to work on these, okay? I'm gonna stop recording so the students who rewatch it don't watch you work for 10 minutes. So I'm gonna pause recording. So 3 plus 64, which is 67, minus 6, which is 61.
61.
And we're done. Now, make sure if you made a mistake, make sure you followed with me and you're like, okay, I don't do that again. Oh, that's what I did wrong. It's all about learning by your mistakes, especially in class. So that way you can tell me, hey, Pacheco, I messed up here. Hey, sir, are there any other questions y'all want me to discuss before we move on?
If none of them have a bracket and a parentheses, is the exponents next?
Yes, that is correct. If there's no
Okay.
brackets or parentheses, you go straight to exponents. If there's no
Oh,
exponents, then you multiply and divide next. It's like a stepping stone.
okay.
All right, let me see if I have a question in the chat. Number 4. Okay, I just went over number 4. Okay, so we're good, right? No, are we able to move on?
There's like, I got 123 for number 6.
123?
Yeah,
Okay, so let's follow the step list, Melanie. So are there any parentheses?
no,
No. Are there any exponents?
no,
So now we what? Multiply and
divide,
from left to
right?
what's first? Division or multiplication on the left side?
Division,
So what's 36 divided by 6?
6,
So then you get 6 times 3
18,
plus 5. So yep, 18 plus 5, which is
23.
23. That's correct. Make better sense, Melanie? You're good?
Yeah, it makes sense. I got a little confused.
No, you're okay. Numbers are like that. That's why, no, you're good. All right. What questions do we have on these practice problems before we move on? All right, let's move on. All right, this is the last section of the day, guys, and then we're done with your first class of elementary algebra. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys about 2 minutes to set up these 2 definitions and section title and the note. So I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. Good luck. Hi, would anyone need an additional minute or 2 to copy down these definitions? Anyone?
I will.
I
Just
got
a
it.
little bit, please.
Yeah, no rush, no rush, no
Thank
rush.
you.
Yes, I'm gonna go ahead and give you 2 more minutes, and then we'll get started.
So while you're giving us the 2 minutes, do you teach anything else besides the fundamentals?
I'm actually working on my master's right now, and once I finish that, I'll be able to teach all the math classes at PAC.
Oh, wow.
That's my goal.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's funny because I'm a teacher and a student at the same time, so it's like mind blowing.
Oh my God, I couldn't even. Yeah, like you said, it's a lot.
But just know you guys are in good hands. Because this isn't my first college teaching job. I want to say 3 years ago, I taught at UT Arlington. I taught pre-cal, freshman pre-cal, like college pre-cal.
Mhm.
And I had the highest percentage of passing rate from all the professors at that university. So it was, and they were pretty mad, pretty salty about it because they've been there for years. And I was just I was a new guy, all young and smiling and excited. And yeah, so
Love it.
I love what I do.
Period.
And when are you going to be done with your master's?
Hopefully by either, if not this spring, if I can take summer classes summer, but worst case scenario,
Wow,
next fall.
that's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah, but I signed up for a class thinking it would be like fun, but it's a lot of reading and writing, so I'm like dying. So that's where my weakest things is reading and writing. But I'm doing my best. I'm hoping to do it so I can teach more classes at the community college and just, just spread the love and knowledge, of mathematics. All right, guys, let's nerd out one last time and then we'll be able to call it a day. All right. So 1.8, the next section is called Intro to Variables, Algebraic Expressions, and Equations. Well, let's get into it. Well, definition. The first definition we're going to talk about is a variable. A variable is an unknown value that's represented by a letter. The next definition we have is algebraic expression, which is a combination of operations on letters, which are variables, and numbers. Now, the last thing that we just saw right now was pretty much expressions. So the order of operations that has to do with expressions. So now look at the note. If a number and letter or two letters are next to each other, we can assume they're being multiplied. So like 4x is the same thing as 4 times x, or the same thing as 4 parentheses x. Oh, whoa. So it's the same concept, guys. Let me fix that. 4x. And then xy is the same thing. So x times y, xy is the same thing as x times y, or x parentheses y. I need you to know the different things about multiplication. I no longer want you to use the multiply symbol from middle school. Remember this? 2 times 2. Remember that little tiny x? I don't want you to do that anymore. I want you to use the dot 2.2 or 2 parentheses 2. Saying I want you to use one of these, not the times table from before.
Okay.
We're done with that because we could get confused and think that it's a what? An X, and we don't want that mistake. We don't want that confusion, okay? All right, let's go ahead and move on. Example 1. I'm going to give you 1 minute to set up example 1, and then we'll get started. So example 1 says, evaluate x plus 6 if x is 8. So we're evaluating, which we know what evaluate means. It means we want to find what does x plus 6 evaluate to? What's the value of it? What else is it similar to? And they give you a parameter. They tell you what x is to help you simplify it. So once the timer runs out, we'll get started. All right. So evaluate x plus 6 if x is equal to 8. All right, Josh, thank you for tuning in, sir. I'll post the video either tonight or tomorrow, and you can just watch the rest of the lecture, sir. Unless you can walk with, I'm not gonna inconvenience you, but if you have to leave, go ahead and hopefully, or maybe there's a table outside the lab. You can just sit your stuff down and finish the class there. But I apologize for you having to be kicked out. But I am recording this lesson, so you should be able to access it once I upload it. No, you're good. You're good. Just remember, finish the notes, please. Finish them by Wednesday, because I'm gonna keep adding on. So you have until Wednesday to finish these notes, okay? All right, guys, I'm gonna keep going. Yes, there will be homework, guys, on my math lab. Once I get that class activated, you'll get on there and use these notes to help you complete the assignments. All right, guys, let me go ahead and continue the lesson, all right? And for those of you that log off, have a good day. I'll see y'all Wednesday afternoon.
All
I'll
right,
be-
so these are the notes, right?
Yeah, we're working. Yeah, these are the notes right now. We're working on notes right now. So we're not, just some students are leaving. That's why. So
Yeah.
I will upload the recording on Canvas, guys. So let me keep going. All right, let's keep going. All right, so we're gonna evaluate x plus 6 if x is 8. So we're gonna do x plus 6 colon when x is equal to 8. That's what we want to do. So we're gonna go ahead and substitute whatever x is. We're gonna put whatever they want us to put. So instead of x plus 6, y'all, we're gonna plug in what?
8 plus 6.
8 plus 6. And now we're gonna use Pemdas to simplify that. Luckily, that's such a short expression. What's 8 plus 6? 14. And we're done. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys 1 minute to do the practice problem that's there. Make sure you write it down so you can look at it to study later on. 1 minute starts now.
So we don't have homework until Wednesday, right? Because it's not up yet.
It's not up yet. And then if I'm able to activate it today, I'll make an announcement or I'll send an email through Canvas. Okay. So just be on the lookout. But you will have it soon. Wednesday the latest.
Okay.
All right. What was the answer for practice 1, y'all? What did y'all get?
5.
5.
5. That's
Thank
correct.
God.
That is correct. All
I
right.
get 5.
Excellent, excellent. Make sure everyone got 5, guys. Now, don't forget to write this note. Note that x is 5 can also be written as x equals 5. So what this note is saying is that the word is the same thing as equal sign. They're both the same thing. All right. Is just an equal sign. All right. Example 2. Now they're going to get a little more complicated as the examples move forward. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a minute timer to set up. And I'm going to give you 2 minutes so that we can even get started on it. This is a very simple process because you already know how to evaluate. We have to use order of operations. Do not forget that component. Okay, guys? So write it out, plug it in, and see what happens. And see if you can simplify using Pemdas. Don't worry, I'm still gonna do the example because it's notes. It's notes. But try to challenge yourself. Can you do it before Pacheco does it? Are you understanding the concept?
So basically we just plug in the numbers, right?
Yeah, plug in the numbers and then simplify like we did in the last lesson. using order of operations.
Damn, I did the wrong one.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into example 2 with you guys. So we have two parentheses, x minus y, and they give us the two parameters. So we have x minus y, x is 6 and y is 3. So for the next step, guys, when we plug it in, we get two parentheses, what minus what?
6 minus 3.
That is correct. And now we
6
use
minus 3.
Pemdas to simplify. So what do we do first to simplify this expression?
Distribute.
Parentheses.
The parentheses
X minus 3.
is,
It'll be 3.
yep. Now what happens when we have a number next to a number with parentheses?
Multiply.
Multiply. So 2
We'll
times 3,
multiply
yep, which is 6, and we are done.
6.
All right, y'all ready to try practice problem on your own? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys, y'all want 1 minute or 2 minutes for the practice problem?
1.
All right, let's go with 1. And I can add another minute if it wasn't enough time, okay? Starting now, good luck. And try to avoid using math apps, guys. Like I know a lot of my high school students at the time when I was a high school would always use those math apps, and they would annoy me because it's like it was easy problems. I'm like, guys, I showed you how to do it. Just do it. So don't use any shortcuts in this class. Try to struggle, try to piece it together in your head, because that's the only way will you be able to move forward in your field, whether there's more math involved, you know?
Will our notes ever be graded?
No, not maybe. I may offer extra credit, maybe. I'm not too sure yet. I'm not too sure. This is my first time working for Palo Alto. I'm gonna try to see what I can do for like grades and stuff, because I know we have the homework, the test. I wonder if I can do like maybe a notebook check for extra credit. Maybe. I'm not too sure. We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
But I will tell you this, my journal, the notes that we make for this class will be very useful to keep for your other math classes and for your TSI testing if you're still trying to TSI test or whatever you're trying, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
All right, so that was a timer, guys. So how would you do this one? When you plug it in, how does it look like when you plug it in?
It's
Four.
supposed to.
8 minus 3.
So
and
4 parentheses,
8 minus 3.
8 minus,
8 minus 3.
everyone with me so far?
Yes.
How did you simplify?
8
8
minus
minus 3.
Which
Five.
is,
5.
5.
5.
what do we do with 4 and 5?
20.
Multiply.
And we
Multiply
get,
20.
and
20.
we are done. What questions do we have so far for this example? All right, let's go. Example 3. This one, I'm gonna go ahead and give you 2 minutes. No, I'm gonna give you 1 minute to set it up. But it's a fraction bar, so you're gonna do the top and the bottom separately. Remember the steps. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and plug it in, guys. So then we get 35 minus 5 parentheses 5 over 5. Now the bottom is already simplified, so we don't have to mess with the bottom. We only have to mess with the what?
Top.
The top. So let's write the word
Top.
top. Then we get 35 minus 5 parentheses 5. So using Pemdas, what do we do first, ladies and gentlemen?
Parentheses.
Parentheses.
Parentheses. Good.
25.
25. So then we get 35 minus 25, which is what?
10.
10. So now we have the new top. So then we get 10 over 5, which simplifies into a what?
2.
And we're done. All right, guys, how many minutes do y'all want for the practice? Y'all want 1 or 2? Was that 2? Okay. All right, starting now. Good luck. What did y'all get for the practice problem?
4.
4.
4.
I got 4.
Good job. The answer is 4. If you got 4, you're on the right track. All right. Do we have any questions on example 3, y'all?
No.
All right, let's move on. We're almost done with our lecture, guys.
Sir,
Yes? All right. Example 4, y'all. Go ahead and give y'all a minute to set it up, and then I'll start working it out. So example 4, evaluate x squared plus z minus 3 equal for x equals 5 and z equals 4.
Would be 5 squared plus 4 minus 3.
That is correct. So then we get 5 squared
So
plus
25
4 minus 3. Use Pemdas. So what do we do first?
exponents.
Yep. 5 squared is what?
25
Excellent. 25. Bring down the +4 minus 3.
That's 26.
Well, we gotta do the steps. So 25 plus 4, add and subtract from left to right is 29 minus 3, which is 26. That's correct. I'm gonna go ahead and guys give you a minute and a half to do practice 4. All right, guys. What did y'all get for the practice 4?
18.
17.
18.
We got 18. That is correct. And does anyone need me to work out the practice problem? Is everyone okay so far?
Can you work it out, please? I'm sorry.
Yes, please, if you can.
Yeah, not a problem. So let me just go ahead and write it out first. So we have 25 minus z cubed plus x. And then the next time we plug it in, so it'll be 25 minus 2 cubed plus 1. Use your Pemdas to simplify it. So there's no parentheses. Exponent is 2 cubed. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. Bring down everything else, the minus 25 plus 1. Then there's no more multiplication or division. So then we add and subtract from left to right. 25 minus 8 is 17. Bring down the plus 1, and then I'll let y'all finish that off.
Was it 18?
The answer was 18. That is correct.
Oh.
Any questions on this example so far? All right, guys, we're almost done. Let's keep going. So here is example 5, guys. It's a similar example, but now it's a word problem. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys about 2 minutes to set this up, and I'll give you 3 minutes because I want you to actually work it out with the same steps we've done. So it says the expression 5 parentheses f minus 32 over 9 can be used to write degrees Fahrenheit as degrees Celsius. Find the value of this expression for f equals 86. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys 3 minutes. Good luck. So for this example, how would you solve this word problem? What do we do?
6, plug it in, and then that would be 86 minus 32, and then you'd multiply it times the 5. That'd be 270, and then it would be divided by 9, which I got 30. I don't know if that's correct though.
You're correct.
I got 32.
Excellent. Excellent. Excellent.
Good job.
Good job, everyone. Any questions
Oh.
so far? Or
Where's
question?
the 270 from?
5 times 54.
Oh, sorry.
No, no need to apologize.
All right, I got 30.
You got what?
30.
Yeah, that's correct.
Sorry, it's because I hear someone say 32 or something.
If you ever have a problem, guys, I have someone asked a question in the chat, Vicky. She said, do we have to put the Celsius on like in the homework? Online, it'll tell you the instructions. It'll say, please input the units. Please put the units. If I remember correctly, my math lab doesn't really care about units, but the unit though is good for paper homework, which you'll probably be doing in your other math classes. So you want to get comfortable writing the units in your paper notes and stuff. So when you do paper homework in the other math classes in the future, you know how to set it up, it's without question. All right, let's move on, guys. So now we're going to go ahead and talk about solutions. So go ahead and write the definition, guys. So definition of solution. And then write example 6 underneath it. I'll give you about 2 minutes to do that. All right. So definition, the solution is a value for the variable that makes the equation a true statement. So that is the solution of an equation. It makes it a true statement. So example 6, determine whether 6 is a solution of the equation 4 parentheses x minus 3 parentheses equals 12. Well, this one we're not solving. We're just checking if 6 is a solution. So how do we do that? To check if a number is a solution of an equation, the way we do that is by, so here's step one. So step one, plug in possible solution in the variable. Step two, simplify the equation. These are the two steps we're going to take right now. So the solution that we want to test out, we want to check if x equals 6 is the solution. We want to check that out. So how do we do that? So we're going to go ahead and write the equation. 4 parentheses x minus 3 parentheses equals 12. Our job for this example is to wherever x is, I'm going to plug in 6. Now let's go ahead and do that. So then we get 4 parentheses 6 minus 3 equals 12 and put a question mark on top of the equal sign. Because ladies and gentlemen, do we know if 6 is the solution? Yes or no?
No.
We don't. So we're figuring that out with this procedure. So we plugged it in into the variable. We're done. Now we're going to simplify it. 6 minus 3, y'all, is what?
3.
3. So they have 4 parentheses 3. What's 4 parentheses 3? What's 4 times 3?
12.
12.
Does 12 equal 12? Yes or no?
Yes.
So you're going to write true. It's a true statement. So that means 6 is a solution.
6 goes into 12 also.
Yeah.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
It does, because 6 goes into 12 also, right?
No, because there's no x in 12. Do you see? We're only plugging in x equals 6. So wherever the x is at is where the 6 goes. The right side, we kind of just leave alone because the way we get this to be a true or false is the left side, wherever we plug in the x is, you know, and then we have to get a true or false. So these are the steps we're going to take. Ready for the next example, guys? It'll be very similar, okay? Example 7. Determine which numbers in the set 26, 40, and 20 are solutions of this equation 2n minus 30 equals 10. So now we have to do the same thing, but rather than it just being one number, they're wanting us to test 3 different numbers, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys 2 minutes to set this up. All right. Determine which numbers from this set are solutions of the equation. So it'll be the same process, but now we have 3 different scenarios we have to look into. So the first one I'm going to do is the 26. So we're going to do n equals 26 first. We're gonna test this bad boy out first. The equation is 2n minus 30 equals 10. So now we're gonna plug in that n value, 26, wherever we see the n. Now make sure you put parentheses around it, guys. Parentheses are very important. So it'll be 2 parentheses 26 parentheses minus 30 equals 10 with a question mark on top of the equal sign because we don't know. We don't know if 26 is a solution. We don't know if the left side is going to equal the right side. So let's simplify using Pemdas. So what's first? So parentheses, but that parentheses is already simplified. That's actually there to denote, is there for multiplication. That 20, so we're gonna multiply first, so go ahead.
52, then minus 30, which would be 22.
Yep, and does 22 equal to 10, yes or no?
No.
So draw a line through the equal sign, that's false. So that means we can say that 26 is not a solution. All right. Everyone understand what we did and why we said what the answer was? Everyone okay with why it's false and why we could say not a solution? So if it's false, not a solution, true is a solution. Let's try the second one. Now, what's the second case going to be? N equals what?
40.
40.
Excellent. Yes. And then go ahead and now we're going to plug it in. Now, I want you to simplify now and see if you can tell me true or false. Let's see if you can do it.
I think it's going to be a false.
It's false.
Excellent. Oh, crap. Ah, my pin. Sorry. Ay, Dios mío. Okay. All right. So then let's find out how. So in mathematics, the beautiful thing about mathematics, you can tell me what you think. I think it's false. But once you worked it out and your work says it's false, you go from I think it's false to it's false. And I'm gonna be like, why? Well, in my work, I did this, and that's why it's false. You have to be confident in your justification. Okay. So 2 times 40 is what?
80,
80.
And then we do 80 minus 30 is what?
50.
Does 50 equal 10?
No.
Yep, so it's false. 40 is not a solution. All right, do the last one, guys. What's the last number we have to test?
20.
Yep, n equals 20. Someone, the microwave went out. I'm just kidding. So it's on like a microwave. So it'll be 2 times 20 minus 30 equals 10, question mark.
It's true.
It's true.
Justify it. How do we get that?
It's
40
2 times
minus
20 equals
50.
40 minus 30 equals 10.
Excellent. And 10 equals 10, which is what kind of statement?
True.
True statement.
True. So then we can say 20 is a solution. All right. Y'all ready for the next slide?
Yeah.
All right. We have 2 more slides, guys. So this one and one more and we're done. I'm gonna give you about 4 minutes to copy down the table and the example 8. Okay. I'm gonna give you 4 minutes. And if I need more than that, I'll give you more. Good luck. And I'll get started after that. As you're writing the table down in your notebook, guys, these phrases are going to be able to help you put words from word problems into actual math. That's why this table I'm having you write. Yes, it's a lot, but it's only to help benefit you as we move forward in this class. Because the biggest challenge in mathematics is that the fact that there's a lot of reading and comprehending you have to do. You should be able to read a word problem and be able to make it into a math problem on your own. And this is what this table is going to be a tool for you to do that. Okay. So I'm going to let you finish writing this and then I'll unmute myself and start talking once the timer runs out, if you are ready to start. All right, guys. Do you need an additional more time? The 4 minutes just went up.
Yes.
Yeah,
Please,
do you
I
need 1 or 2 more minutes?
One.
Okay. All right, guys, that was the additional 2 minutes. All right, so I'm going to get started with example 8. So example 8 says, write as an algebraic expression, use X to represent a number. So we have these phrases that determine which operation we're going to convert it to. So looking at the letter A, 7 increased by a number. So what operation is increased by?
Addition.
Addition. So what should go first though in the expression? So we start off with 7, and then it's increased by, which is addition. And what letter do we use for a number?
X.
X. So we have a number and 7. So that's going to be 7 plus X, and we're done with A. Everyone sees how we made a math expression from words. This is the key of this example here, this section. So B, it says 15 is decreased by a number. 15 what?
Minus X.
Minus.
15 minus X. Excellent, excellent. That is correct. Now, in case you're ever wondering, well, how do I do that? How did you get the 15? So read how it looks. So it starts out with 15, and it says it's decreased by a number. Well, we know a number is X. So plug in something for X. Say 15 is decreased by 5. That's 10. So we know it's going to be 15 minus 5. But since it's a number X, it's 15 minus X. You see what I mean? So you want to read it until it clicks in here. Look at C. Now, what word do we see in C?
Product, which is
Multiplication. Multiply.
And what are we multiplying?
2.
2.
2 times or
X.
2
X.
times X. And 2 times X is the same thing as just 2X. You see how they're the same thing? Because we know when the number that are next to each other, it's multiplication. So D. What's D?
5
subtracted by
divided by.
number.
Oh, I got division.
It is division because of the quotient. But what goes first?
X.
X. So it'll be X divided by 5. Or if it was a fraction bar, it'll be X over 5.
Mm.
So let me tell you why. So remember, note, it's going to be top divided by bottom. So whatever is first in the division problem is always going to go on top of the fraction, okay? And then the second number or letter will be on the bottom. Just to let you know, okay? This is a little note right here. These are the same thing. All right. E, 2 subtracted from a number.
So 2 minus X.
Read it again.
X minus 2.
X minus 2. You want to read it again slowly. So it's saying that 2 is being subtracted from a number.
So X being the number.
Or
X being a number, and we're subtracting 2 from it. So it'll be X minus 2. Does everyone see the verbiage of that? You guys see the importance of being able to read in the words now? All right, last slide, and we're done with our first lecture, guys. All right, so go ahead and write this helpful hint in your notebook. Write this helpful hint. Write this in the box, and then your last practice set problems for today. I'll give you about 4 minutes on everything. And then we'll talk. I'll answer any questions you have. Good luck. Right, guys. So let's talk about practice 8. A. Remember, it's the same concept as the last example. Use X to represent a number. A, twice a number.
2 times the number.
2 times a number, but what do we call the number? A number, what letter?
2 times x.
2 times X. Or just 2x. What's B?
8 times x.
I heard 8 times X. Does anyone agree or disagree with 8 times X for B?
8
That's
increase.
X.
8
Plus
What operation is increased by, guys?
addition.
subtraction.
Increase. It's addition. 8 plus X. Everyone with me?
Yes.
All right. C. What's 10 minus a number?
X minus 10.
X minus 10.
Read it again.
Okay.
10.
10 minus a number.
So let's replace a number, that phrase, a number with an actual number. Pick a number. Let's pick 3.
Okay.
If it said 10 minus 3, what would you say? What would you write for 10 minus 3?
10 minus 3.
10 minus.
Which is what?
10 minus x.
Yeah, see that? 10 minus 3 is the same thing as 10 minus 3. So 10 minus a number, replace the number with 3 is 10 minus.
X. Okay. 10.
Do you see how we just added a number 3 and it changed how we saw it?
Yes.
I want you to experiment with those phrases to help connect the ideas in our head. Because you know 10 minus 3, but 10 minus a number is new. So you know what I mean? Use something that you know to bridge something you don't know. Now we're on D. Now 10 subtracted from a number. 10 subtracted from a number. So let's replace the number. Let's instead of the phrase number, let's use a number. Let's use 25.
Okay.
So if I said 10 subtracted from 25, what's the answer of 10 subtracted from 25?
10 minus.
So 10.
10 minus.
So 10
X minus 10.
X minus 10. You're
Huh.
subtracting 10 from the number. You're taking away from the number. Subtracted from, and you can always look at the example. I think example 8 had something similar. E, right? You see E, 2 subtracted from a number, and we got X minus 2. Remember that?
Yes, that's
So
right.
then, so always use your notes, guys.
D.
Remember, it's so D is X minus 10. What's E, the quotient of a number of 6 and a number?
6 divided by x.
6
That's
divided by
division.
X. So 6 divided by X or 6 over X. And we're done with our first lecture of elementary algebra. How does everyone feel?
Good.
Now, before I stop recording, what questions do we have on any of the notes or example, anything from my class or syllabus? What questions do y'all have for me before I dismiss?
I have a question regarding, I think I have another class with you. It's like a math lab.
Yes. So that math lab is pretty much us to be able to work on the assignments, as us for us to be able to just stay. Pretty much, I have you until 4:30. Now, since this is the first class of the semester and I don't have my math lab set up, we're gonna cut early, but we're not always gonna cut early. So I don't want you to get the habit, oh, we're gonna leave early. Don't make plans like I'm gonna go get tacos at 3:30 because Pacheco, I feel like we're gonna leave early today. Nah, like, don't chance it. Unless you're comfortable and you're confident and you're good, that's great. But I need you to stay on top of attendance because it is part of your grade. It's an easy points, but it's just showing up.
This is like a class both in one. So this is my lab and the other one.
Yes, so
Yes, it's together.
it's
Okay.
together. I teach the lecture course and I'm also your teacher for the lab portion.
Okay, so today's just we're cutting early. That's it.
We're cutting early just because I don't have my math lab set up and I didn't want to overwhelm you with 3 lessons because we needed to do the syllabus and we needed to get to know each other. All right.
Is this the only time we're gonna go over this, or like, is there gonna be other times?
What do
Or
you
like-
mean by that?
Like certain.
We're gonna go over notes in every class. We're gonna
Yeah.
have lessons in every class.
Okay.
This will be considered like maybe taking a quiz later on or something, right? We have to
Oh.
go through our notes. Okay, so
So
this
is
is where we're
every
writing
week-
everything down.
Is every week like something different, or like?
Yes, every week is something different. So if you look at the syllabus, you'll look at the schedule, and I'll tell you what sections we're covering in this week. So on Wednesday, we're gonna cover 3 sections. We're gonna cover, I think, next class, we're gonna cover 2.5, 2.6, and 3.1. And that way, once I activate my math lab for all my classes, you could be able to access the book and look at the sections before class. If you want to get ahead and be like, oh, okay, that looks kind of scary. Oh, that looks easy. You know, remember, once you get my math lab activated, you have a bunch of other resources to work on your math set. I'm here to teach you the first stuff and to make you practice. Your job is to do all the rest of it, the homework, the studying, the reading. That's all you do outside of this class. And
All
then
right, but right now we don't have the access for a book, right?
no, not yet. You're gonna have access by, if not today, Wednesday the latest.
Will we
So-
get in an email,
Alright.
or? will
Yes,
it be-
I will be emailing the entire class like, hey class, I just got my math lab set up. Your assignments are already posted. Good luck. Email me if you don't access it or if you have any questions. And then you just let me know like, hey sir, I got in. Hey sir, I didn't get in. And we can move forward together.
Is
we-
the math lab the one we gotta pay for the my lab or something?
I think I am not 100% sure. I'm gonna email my
Oh.
my boss and my colleagues to be like, hey, do my students have the code already? Do they need to buy it? That because it's my first semester teaching that pack. So yeah.
Oh.
So we may or may not have an assignment today.
Yeah, we may or may not have an assignment, but when you do, the assignments will be exactly like the lessons we just covered.
Okay.
All right. What other questions do we have, guys?
When it's time for homework, where do we go to view it?
You're gonna go to so that's a great question, Josh. You'll go to Canvas and it'll be my lab and mastering on that Canvas page. But right now, if you try to use that link, it won't work just because I haven't activated the course yet. So on Wednesday, Josh and everyone, I should have it up activated already. So that way in class, the first thing we'll do is test out everyone's login to that course to see if everyone can see their homework in the book. So that's a great question. What other questions do you may have for me? And
And where are we gonna see the assignments?
say that one more time.
Where are we gonna see the assignments?
It'll be on
whenever we
Canvas. On Canvas. It'll be online on the computer. So once I get that activated, I'll email everyone. And on Wednesday's class, before we start the notes, I'll make sure everyone can access it before I start the lecture. So that way y'all know what to be working on.
All right, thank you.
Uh-huh. Any other questions, guys?